Before I go into the detail on the final product here, I want to show you the history of the HYDRON taillights and how I came up with the design, why they look like jet thrusters. If you look over here, this is the final version. This is actually version 6, and this is pretty much the production model here that you see. It's been on my car for a good few weeks. It kind of looks like my older ones, but you know, I've made minor changes that you can't readily see, but only for me to kind of see. Does that make any sense? All right, good. This is the version 1 HYDRON Hyper LED taillights. My goal was to make something that looks kind of like a jet thruster, and yeah, this came close. More or less, this looks like a freaking gear, right? Like a cog, as you can see right there. The empty hole right here was meant to display the color of your car. All right, so just like the Fiat 500 Abarth, they have this empty hole right here on their taillights to show off the color of the car. Little cool detail, but I ditched that idea because I'm like, what am I gonna do with a reverse and the signals? But I did carry it on to the other models right here just to see the shape and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go over the version 2. This is version 2. And the version 2 right here, I added detail to the inside of the ring right here, kind of like the outside, but more of like the negative, okay? So it looked pretty cool. It's still a little bit busy. I didn't make a metal version of this because I said, we need to refine it a little bit more and then I'll be happy. Came out with version 3. We spaced out the pedals. I call this the pedals, okay? So I spaced out the pedals a little bit, so there's less to see. Not as crazy as this, but still has that jet thruster look. It looks pretty good like that. The inside detail looks pretty bomb, as you can see right there. So I stuck with this and I added the center portion. So the center portion right here, as you can see, I added the hex, and a lot of people who copy my design right here add the hex and they don't even know what the hex is for. What the hex? But I'll show you. The inside right here will house the secondary LED ring, and that's basically for the signal and for the reverse. And this ring right here looked a little bit, a little bit too clean. So I changed that up. And the back right here is also all solid, just like the previous models. Version 5, okay? This is the one that I printed last year and I did a video about it, and I'll link that video again up top. But here is the version 5. As you can see right there, there's a boo-boo in manufacturing, womp womp womp, because I think our freaking machinist typed in the wrong code or whatever. But anyways, this is the version 5, essentially the most recent model before this boy. This is version 6. But as you can see, this is totally refined. The edges are nice and clean. It's rounded off. The back right here has also been scalloped out. I don't know if that's the proper word, but I basically emptied the back right here to prevent like the taillights from kind of moving around because it's heavy. All right, this is going to be heavy if I made it solid like this guy. All right, the back of the GV panel is literally just taped on the corners right here, if you guys didn't know. It's bolted on in the center right here and over there, but that's pretty much it. I mean, right here they give you double-sided tape, which is kind of ghetto. I didn't use the double-sided tape. I did my own thing, but other than that, this would be very heavy and it would vibrate. So I made space right here. I cleaned it up a little bit. And as you can see, it's super nice and clean. The machining marks are perfect. The edges are nicely rounded. Yeah, perfect. And then the holes right here, just added weight reduction right here. So I added those holes. And then the secondary holes right there, as you can see, those are threaded. So you can mount this on the back of the GV panel. I was gonna say GV plate. So I got a hole right there, right there, right there, and right there. I could have done just 3 holes like the original GV panel design, but I wanted 4 for added security. The last thing that I will change on version 6.1, I don't know, there's always a freaking change. I'm gonna get rid of this right here because this is where the wiring is supposed to go, but it's a little bit too small. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna delete this little nub, continue this circle one piece, and then enlarge one of the holes right here so I could slide the harness easier rather than taking everything apart. But as you can see, that hex again is right here, and the hex actually came from my Porsche and my Audi builds. I just like that look. Okay, it's a very popular pattern on Audis and Porsches, and I carried that throughout my other builds. My Grom, my bikes, my Porsche, all have this pattern right here. That's kind of like my thing. I like adding this to a lot of my builds, and that's why when you see replicas of this taillight, because they're all over the place, which I don't mind, they add the hex on there, but they actually don't know what it's for. The first car that I saw with this taillight design was the Ford GT, but they didn't have the inner ring though. They only had the outer ring, and I think there was a hole in the center. So the Ford GT gets the credit for creating this design. I just kind of added my twist, made it look like a jet thruster, as you can see right there. All these 3D printed pieces right here were R&D'd here in California. This 6061 billet aluminum piece was also manufactured here in California in Chatsworth. The LED modules and the ECU that goes into this build right here is also US made with US components, so they do last very, very long. Okay, so I'm gonna add a quick video here on top because this is gonna be a really funny one. So about a year ago, I released this product, and this guy commented on my DM and said,
"Hey, that taillight's not gonna last a rainstorm or a freezing condition."
Blah, 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 blah. He was trolling me. So I said, look, man, I'm gonna show you how resilient these LEDs are. And these LEDs are manufactured specifically for the pods that I'm making here. So what I did was I took the freaking light, all right? I got a LiPo battery. I filled the a bowl of water, and I dunked the freaking LED in there, all right? And I left it like that for a good month or so, all right? And after showing people that, hey, these things are freaking waterproof and you could submerge it, you know, no problem. And then after a month of doing that, I stuck it in the freezer, all right? I stuck it in the freezer for another month to see if it'll still work. And it still did. It just blew my mind. And I knew it was gonna freaking last. The guy that commented that it's not gonna last, he never came back. So needless to say, he was proven wrong. All right, going back to the hex pattern that you see right there. In the center, you see the hex pattern, all right? Most people who make a copy of this, they don't know where that comes from. They just kind of add it on there because they see it on my channel. That actually comes from this guy, all right? This is the grill that I use for my bumpers, my hoods, anything with a vent or a hole, I use this because I hate the diamond chicken wire stuff. So there you go. That's, I know it's kind of random, but for me, it's not really random because I've been using this pattern and this grill for many, many years. So as far as quantity, I'm only gonna make about 20 of these, 20 sets, okay? And they're gonna be super limited, but they are gonna be top notch. Same stuff that I use on my car. Now that I've perfected everything, the only thing I'm gonna do is just slight changes to the back right here that I'm not really happy with as far as the machining, surfacing. Other than that, this thing is ready to go. It'll be about 2 months until these things are available. So when they are sold out, I'm gonna update the description below that they're sold out, and then you guys can just watch this video for informative reasons. But other than that, man, it's a pretty cool light. It's insanely bright, insanely bright. I'm gonna show you the functions right now so you know what you're looking at. So when you turn on your parking light, this is how it looks like. It's pretty intense, yet it can get brighter. All right, so watch this. I'm gonna go inside the car, I'm gonna hit the brakes, and you'll see how bright it gets. Getting in the car, stepping on the brakes. Check that out. That's insane, right? Look at this. Dude, that is insane, okay? Now, I'm gonna turn on the signals right now. So as you can see right there, the middle ring actually turns amber, and when I reverse, it'll turn white. And that's kind of like the cool thing about this setup right here. You get both, and it's hidden. Now, you might be wondering, why didn't I put a secondary ring light in here that's red? Well, because it washes out the whole circle right here. See this round light? It gets washed out when it's too bright in the center, and it looks like you just have a giant blob light. With the ring itself, when this is off, I'm gonna turn it off again, so show you. The ring looks more defined when it's just a single round pod in the center, or not center, on the outside, as you can see right there. So it makes it look bigger. Plus, it bounces off the GV panel right here. So it looks really good. I'm gonna turn on the reverse light right now and show you how that looks. So this is the reverse light. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. It's gonna be a little bright, but there you go. See that? Insanely bright, dude. So the amber turns white, and once everything's disengaged, this just turns off. Crazy, right? That's why I love this design and this setup, because everything's in here and it's insanely bright. As you can see in the background, I got light, coming in the garage. I actually have lights on the corner right here, and this thing is still bright. Imagine this in the dark. I'm gonna turn off the lights right now. Okay. Now I know these lights aren't for everyone, and it's a little bit crazy looking. It looks like a freaking jet thruster, but it's a dope freaking light for your GV panel. Now the GV panel was made to look more nostalgic, right? And then I just added my own twist to make it look more modern. So if you don't know what this panel is, it's called GV panel, Garage Vary panel. You have to buy your own because I don't supply that, but you can get replicas. 6-Speed makes it, Carbon Miata makes it, and they look pretty decent. Yeah, as you can see right here, it fits pretty good. I mean, I added my own twist to this. I took off the reverse light that's supposed to go right here because I have the reverse light on here already. But if you buy my pods right here, you're gonna need to provide your own GV panel, all right? Now, will this work with NBs? Yes, this light will work with NB Garage Vary panels. You just need to buy a Garage Vary panel, okay? And it looks kind of like this. The only thing is it stops right here instead of going all the way out. All right, so yes, this will work with the NBs. Unfortunately, I can't show you the whole taillight because it's bright outside and I don't have enough space in the garage here to back up a little bit, but it looks pretty good. It's insanely bright. If you ask Jesse from Canada, he goes by Jesse Beatty, I think, on Instagram, he thinks it's too bright. So he actually wants to make it a little bit dimmer, but I think it's perfect. It's freaking bright, it's dope, it's big, it's in your face, and yeah, it's just OMGMIATA-ish. So if you guys like this, hit me on the comments below. Let me know what you think. If you think it looks like poop, just say so. If you think you can do it better, show me on Instagram your changes, because I know a lot of people have actually made their own, and they've done some really dope stuff, and that, like stuff that I couldn't even do. Tag me on there so I can see what you've done, and that's pretty much it, guys.